gospel passage, a preacher asked his congregation, "How many of you have forgiven your enemies?" And a vast majority of them raised their hands. Then he asked them again, "How many of you have forgiven at least one of your enemies?" And almost everyone raised their hands except very elderly lady in front. And the preacher recognized her and said, "Mrs. Jones, why don't you have the willingness to forgive your enemy?" She said, "I don't have any." So the preacher asked her, "That is very unusual at your age. Would you please tell the congregation how can a person live without any enemies in the world?" And she very graciously stood up and told them, "It's very easy. I just outlived all those rascals." Many years ago, Stanley Jones wrote an article called "Somebody Needs You." The article described how America's leading psychiatrist Carl Menninger decided to run his clinic on the assumption that what his patients needed most was love. And so he told his staff, "From the chief psychiatrist down to the gardener, our contacts for a while are going to be contacts of love. If you go into a patient's room to change even the light bulb, go in with an attitude of love." After 6 months, the program was evaluated, and to their surprise, the staff discovered that the average period of hospitalization for their patients had been cut in half. In today's gospel, Jesus gives the famous golden rule to his disciples, saying, "Do to others as you would have them do to you." Jesus calls us to do something greater than just avoiding any negative behaviors. As his followers, we are called today to do good to others and to pray for our enemies. This may seem to fly in the face of our popular opinion. In fact, this is simply a practical application of Jesus' 2,000-year-old commandment to love not just your families and friends, but everyone who needs it, including the enemies. Remember, Jesus is not asking his disciples or us to fall in love with our enemies, but rather to be considerate about their enemies' welfare and refuse to pay back violence with violence. Of course, we understand why this would have been so contrary to what his disciples may have learned from their culture or even experienced in their society. The revenge and payback method has been part of our instincts, human instincts, from the very beginning. Our civil laws today suggest that those who have been wronged by others are entitled to some form of retribution or justice. Fortunately, we have moved away from the eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth law of extracting justice from others. In this context, the great non-violent freedom fighter Mahatma Gandhi once said this: "If we practice this Old Testament law, soon the whole world will be blind and toothless." Very true. Jesus then goes on to tell his disciples that hatred can only be defeated by love, and injury can only be healed by forgiveness, and evil can only be eliminated by goodness. The core of today's gospel message is an invitation to go beyond the mere observance of laws and basic requirements to maintain a social order. And Jesus' concern is much larger. His mission is to bring forth the kingdom of God here on earth. And that's why Jesus' Sermon on the Mount and the Plains proposes the values of God's kingdom, as we heard in today's gospel, that may seem very hard for us. It is almost challenging, but not impossible. And yet, we can see examples of these gospel teachings in human history, even in our modern world, like previous political enemies shaking hands with each other, breaking down of the Berlin Wall, uniting the East and West Germany. So many individuals sacrificing their personal interests and even giving ultimate sacrifice for the sake of their country and community. And that's what all our Christian saints have accomplished while following Jesus, their master. Indeed, love and mercy of God invites us to live beyond the mere norms of our society. Mercy teaches us that our life is very short, and so a word of love or compassion can be given to others and offer another chance for them to change their ways. Therefore, this directive of the commandment to love and the golden rule is no longer for Christians alone. Rather, it is essential for the entire humanity. I'd like to close with a very meaningful quote from Bishop Desmond Tutu in his very famous book titled No Future Without Forgiveness. He writes, "Forgiveness is not sentimental. Forgiveness means abandoning your right to pay back the enemy in the same coin, but it is a loss that liberates the victim." I'd like to repeat the last part. Forgiveness means abandoning your right to pay back the enemy in the same coin, but it is a loss that liberates the victim.